The 3 C's of self-mastery and manifestation. I get 2 types of questions from 2 types of people. One archetype of person that I get a lot of questions from, especially over Instagram or on YouTube, are people that are in very difficult life circumstances. They don't have much momentum. They're not sure what to do with their life. They're looking for their path. They're looking for their purpose. They're looking to find that thing that's going to actually help them manifest whatever it is that they want in their reality. And there's a ton of uncertainty. There's a ton of confusion. They're not sure what to do. Or the other type of person is someone who's already successful. They're making good money. They're usually running their own business, or they have a really high paying job. And they're looking to get to that next level, but they don't know what path to take. And oftentimes they're burnt out. They've been working for many years on end. They have tons and tons of responsibility, and they don't have any creative or mental bandwidth to think outside of their responsibilities of the things that they're working on now, which is creating a sense of uncertainty that they don't know what path to take to get to that next level, and they feel like they're going to be stuck in this rat race forever. So what I tell these 2 types of people is oftentimes the exact same message, because what they're experiencing is the same thing, but just at different levels. And one person has a little bit more momentum, maybe a little bit more life flexibility, the other one doesn't. However, the solution to this problem all lies in the 3 C's of self-mastery and manifestation. And the 3 C's are certain attributes and qualities that when you exhibit this within your reality, everything works out. Everything flows to you. And even if you do find yourself in non-preferential circumstances, there's no anxiety about it. There's no self-judgment or self-doubt or self-defeating thoughts that comes with stepping into uncertainty, because like it or not, if you want to get to that next level in your life where you have complete freedom to do whatever you want, you're going to have to embrace uncertainty. I did a video on this, I think it was like a week or 2 ago. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go watch that one, about being the type of person who willfully and enthusiastically embraces uncertainty, because that is the key to manifesting everything you want into your reality in the first place. But my point here is that self-mastery and manifestation, and I'm not talking about manifestation as like the trendy shit that you see all over social media, like the white girl Starbucks spirituality manifestation stuff of like astrology or numerology or sitting with a crystal or reading a tarot card and praying and holding these things and saging your house every 3 minutes, like that kind of, you know what I'm talking about, right? All that stuff is fine. Or if you do like plant medicines and shit. I've personally never done plant medicines in like a ceremony, and I've done, one of my closest friends is like a Reiki shaman. But I digress from the point that all those things, you don't need to do any of those things to actually be an excellent manifestor of your reality, because whether you're conscious of this or not, you are manifesting everything that happens to you. And this is a byproduct of your energetic vibration that you radiate out into the world. And so wherever you find yourself, whether you are just starting out and trying to find your purpose, or you want to get to that next level with more ease and more flow, and to allow for the world to work for you, to allow for better circumstances to find you, all of it relies on your energetic vibration. And people in a high energetic vibration are exhibiting the 3 C's, whether they are conscious of this or not. Let's jump into it. Now, the first C, well, I guess you're going to see it in a second. And this one is oftentimes of all the things that I impart into my clients and people that work with me. And you guys have seen some of the results, okay? You guys have seen the results. I've talked about them before. If you haven't checked my client results or some of the success stories that my clients have, I'll drop a link in the description as well. But I've had guys go from 0 to 100K in 2 months, 0 to 100K in 4 months, 72K first month working with me. Guys go from 7 to 8 figures in their business. You can see some of these clients' success stories in the description that I'll leave down below. But this is by far, of all the things that I impart into my clients, into people, and my whole intention with all of this, my YouTube channel, my purpose for life, the biggest message that I want to give to people, it's to be confident, 100% confident in who they are in every single circumstance. You've heard me say this before, that even when I don't feel confident, I am confident. And it's very paradoxical to think about, because when you think about a confident person, what do you often think about? You think about someone who is loud, someone who is extroverted, someone who is taking up a lot of space. And I'm here to tell you that that is just one aspect, one frame of confidence. And if that looks like confidence for you, then go do those things. However, For the vast majority of people that I know, especially like a lot of my clients tend to be more introverted, more nerdy, like a lot of software engineers, a lot of guys that work in tech, or guys that are more, they want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't want to be like these loud, obnoxious speakers like Tony Robbins, or people that are just like loud and on stage and very animated and waving their hands like some of the other people that you see out there in the world. But confidence looks different for everybody. I'm actually a much more introverted type of person, which is very interesting because oftentimes if I speak on stage, people will ask me like, oh, where did you get all your confidence from? Where did that come from? I'm like, I have range. Like I can be the loud, obnoxious person, but I tend to be more of an introverted type of person. So anybody who's a close friend of mine and has been around me long enough also recognizes the fact that, oh, he's actually a lot more quiet than the character, the persona that he plays on stage. And I play that persona because that is what is required when you jump on stage in order to keep it entertaining and keep it engaging. But for the most part, I'm more of an introverted type of person. Why am I talking about this? Well, you have to start to look at the etymology of the word confidence, okay? And etymology is a study of how words are created and how they are broken down. Now, in the etymology of the word confidence, there's two parts to it. There's con, which is the Latin root of con, is the Latin root of that means to share. With, to share. And in confidence, the Latin root of that is fidere, which means trust. When you confide with someone, or you tell something to someone in confidence, you have an expectation that they're not going to share that with anybody else. So you trust them that you're sharing a secret, you're sharing a vulnerability and insecurity, okay? So what confidence actually means is to share trust. Okay, so you're here thinking you need to be this loud, fiery person and extremely passionate, but the truth is, a confident person is one that can share trust and share the inner trust that they cultivate within themselves. Okay, now this is very much in alignment with what I said before, that even when I don't feel confident, I am confident. What I'm actually saying here is that my energetic vibration is so stable, is so radiant and magnetic in every single circumstance that even if I don't feel amazing, I feel amazing. Even when I maybe don't trust myself in a particular moment, I trust myself at all times. So the way this relates to you in your life is whatever circumstance you find yourself in, whether you're trying to get to that next level or you're just starting out, if you can learn to trust yourself at every given moment, whatever circumstance you find yourself in, even if you're experiencing failures, even if you're burnt out, even if you doubt yourself, if you can cultivate a level of trust that I trust the path that I'm walking, I trust that this uncertainty is being given to me for a particular reason because I recognize the divinity within myself. I recognize the fact that I am God in human form, the same way all of the master teachers, all of the enlightened beings are humans with God inside of them. Well, then it takes off a lot of the pressure that you put on yourself to be any other type of person. It takes off all the pressure of who you think you need to be in order to be attractive to high quality circumstances. Do you understand what I'm saying here? What you should feel after hearing this is like a sense of relief that, oh, wait, I don't have to do all this dumb shit. I don't have to do all this crazy shit. In fact, I think it's actually really corny. A lot of the big speakers on stage that are really animated and really in your face and very much like, to me, a lot of times those messages, although there's a lot of truth in them, the actual truth of what's actually going to help someone get to that next level is more of this, more of being yourself. Because here's the truth, is that you are the only you. And what I mean by this is that you have a unique life path to walk down. You have your unique tendencies, your awkwardness and your quirks, and you have your own tendencies to lean into a certain type of thought or an affinity towards a certain type of life path. But the more you think that it has to look a specific type of way that is outside of you, that is not who you are right now, well, the more you are out of alignment with your highest manifestations in the first place. You should write this down, that you're manifesting every single thing in your life at every given moment. So if you're experiencing burnout and failures and you're not sure what to do with your life and you have a bunch of confusion, this is the best thing that can happen to you right now, because it creates a vortex for the right solutions, the right ideas, the right people, the right circumstances to become a part of your experience. But it's because in those moments of uncertainty and in those moments of confusion and in those moments where you're not sure what that next step is, you relax into the moment because you trust yourself at every given moment. And you recognize that you are one being. You are the first you are a unique being, and there's something special to that. And when you relax into that kind of energy, that is the epitome of confidence, and that allows for the right circumstances to become a part of your experience, the right ideas. And this will come in the form of synchronicity. And synchronicity is a term where chance encounters that are not coincidental provide guidance for you in your life. Right? If you ever read the book The Alchemist, the whole point of the book is teaching the main character to relax and trust the omens that are guiding him in his life, whether positive or negative. Right? At the beginning of the story, he loses all his money because he gives it to a stranger, and then he gets distracted by a sword that he wants to buy. And he tells himself, when I get rich, I'm going to come back and buy this sword. But then he turns around and the person that he gave all his money to disappears. He's like, oh shit, my life is fucked. I don't know what to do anymore. And for a period of time, he has to go get a job and get by and save up money because he wants to go back to his hometown. But then he just keeps receiving these omens to continue on with his journey. Your life is going to be very much the same, where there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. But if at every given moment you can be confident in your path and allow the path to unfold as it needs to, and take off any judgments or any criticisms or any self-doubt that arises because you experience failures or you experience negative circumstances, well, guess what? That's the type of person that when they're so self-connected that they tune into every single moment and recognize the gift that every moment, every manifestation is providing them, that is the type of person that follows that path and gets to that next level in the first place. And it's because you have a unique path. And when you trust that path and you are completely aligned to that, beautiful and crazy things and opportunities start to enter into your experience. Like, I have fucking evidence of this. I have evidence of this in my life. I have client evidence of this. I have guys go from 0 to 100K in 2 months with zero prior business experience. I have guys going from 0 to 100K in 4 months, and they are like absolutely mind blown. Like, how the hell did I do? Like, they're even surprised by when they get to that point. They're just like, holy shit. I'm not surprised because I understand that confidence has more to do with your ability to trust yourself and to trust the universe to deliver to you what you want in the most unexpected ways, because oftentimes the strategy or the plan for success that you have isn't going to go the way you planned at all in the first place. So you have to be open. You have to be open-minded, open-hearted to what the universe delivers to you. Okay? And this comes with a great level of self-trust and confidence. And once you embody this as the default mechanism of how you operate and the relationship you have with the world, well, guess what? The ideas you have, you're able to execute on them to a much higher degree. Your speech, the words that you speak, your ability to articulate your ideas and even to sell and market yourself and convince others and influence others and persuade others goes through the roof, right? Because think about this as well. If you think about confidence from even the energetic standpoint, it's really just a transfer of energy. And when you transfer energy to another, you're transferring trust. It's all trust and it's all energy. Okay, so it's not about the mechanism of which you display your confidence to the world. Actually, as a matter of fact, a lot of times when people try to play this confident role, like the loud, extroverted, animated version of confidence, right? It actually looks very uncalibrated. You've probably met people like this, and I've done this many times in my lifetime as well, where someone that is trying to be loud and extroverted and take up a ton of space, it actually feels a little bit off. It feels uncalibrated, right? Well, it's because they're trying to play into a role. They're trying to play into a persona that they think the world is going to like, or the world is going to be attracted to. And it comes off as uncalibrated, and they actually get worse results from it. If you're that type of person, you've been trying to play this persona, back off, relax. The most confident energy is an energy of calmness, of certainty. Write this down. Confidence is calmness. Confidence is certainty. And when you are certain in yourself, it doesn't matter what happens in your physical existence. It doesn't matter what circumstance you find yourself in. You will always find a way out. You will always find a way up. You will always find a way and a solution to the problems that you are experiencing. But that's because your energy is grounded. Your energetic vibration is extremely attractive. And that is the thing that attracts to you all the synchronicity that you're looking for in the first place. If you want to find a partner, right? I can't tell you how many times I have clients that are not great looking. They're not super tall. They don't have all the traditional qualities of an attractive person, right? Like 6'3", blonde hair, blue eyes. Mind you, I have friends that have those qualities and they have abysmal relationships because they have zero confidence. So you can have all the physical things. You can have all the physical things that are attractive or that society deems as good, or attractive is probably like the best word. I'm trying to think of another word, but it's not coming to me. But you can have all the things that society deems as attractive, but if you don't have stable energy and you're calm and certain in every circumstance, you're just anxious about yourself and you're self-judgmental and self-critical, well, guess what? You're not going to get results as good as my clients that don't have the things that society deems as acceptable, and yet their energy is so vibrant and stable, and they're so self-connected, and they're so self-accepting. They accept themselves and they accept their limitations, but the thing is, limitations are only in your mind. You have no limitations. I'm telling you right now that you can call into your experience anything that you want. A dream income, a dream job, a dream circumstance, a dream house, a dream car, a dream partner. All these things will come to you more easily when you trust yourself and you trust the universe and you're calm and certain in every single circumstance. Because a person who exhibits certainty is the type of person that looks at every life circumstance, every relationship, every idea that comes to them, and they bless it. They say, this is God in my experience right now. And my divinity and my level of self-connection is attracting all the most beautiful and positive things into my reality right now. And when you do this enough times, on a long enough time horizon, you develop a life circumstance and a lifestyle that supports you in every single regard. Because this is oftentimes what they talk about, the universe conspires for you to achieve greatness. And you can view every single thing in your reality, every fragment of consciousness that enters into your experience as God-given guidance of your level of trust. But the thing is, the vast majority of people, they don't trust themselves, right? They see their circumstances and they get disgruntled. They get frustrated that things aren't happening as quickly as they wanted to. They get frustrated when certain people leave their lives. They get frustrated when certain business plans don't work out. And all of this is evidence of a lack of self-trust, because if it was supposed to work out, it would have worked out. If that relationship was supposed to work out, God would have made it work. If that business plan was supposed to work, God would have made it work, but it didn't work out for a particular reason. And oftentimes, what is actually meant for you is right around the corner. What is actually meant for you is right around the corner. And when you trust yourself, you turn that corner. It's that easy. It's that simple. Stop trying to complicate all this shit. Stop trying to complicate your life. Exhibit some certainty, be calm, and understand that your energy is influencing the quality of your experience. We're on a roll here. We're on to the next one. Drop a comment down below if this actually resonates for you. And you see the ways in which you haven't been confident in yourself and you haven't trusted yourself. Drop a comment to let that energy go. Every time I spray that, it gets in my lungs. Okay. The second C is a little bit less obvious, but equally important. It's cancellation. Time to cancel that Netflix subscription. Time to cancel that OnlyFans subscription. If any of you guys have OnlyFans subscriptions, what the fuck? I don't know a single person that does that. Like, whenever I see these OnlyFans girls, I have a close friend he runs OnlyFans agencies. And when I see these girls making all this money, I'm like, who the hell's paying for this shit? Yeah. But I don't mean canceling your subscription. If you want to subscribe to whatever the fuck or watch movies and shit, fine. But what I mean is, withdraw your energy and attention from everything that is misaligned from your highest truths and from your highest frequency and your highest confidence. And what I mean by this is the highest levels of the spiritual game is not about getting to that next level or doing more and being super rigid with like your spiritual routine or whatever that looks like. What it has to do more with is I feel like my spelling is off today. Ay. Let me know if I spelled that correctly. Maintaining. You eventually become, if you ever seen that movie, the Scrooge McDuck, or what's that movie of the guy who's like a rich, or he's super rich and he hoards all his money? You have to be the same way with your energy and your attention. And what you give your attention to is you giving your energy to other pendulums, to other sources of energy. And a lot of times this actually creates a lack of trust. If you turn on the news, or if you watch mainstream media, what are they talking about? They're talking about division. They're talking about how the world is chaotic and everything is going to shit and all these different things. There's all these conflicts in the world and all these people are trying to hurt you and all these different things. And while that is a version of reality that is true, that doesn't have to be the reality that you experience in your individual reality. There are 8 billion people on this planet, and every single person has their own subjective experience of what they are encountering. And the vast majority of people, 98% of people, subscribe to this idea that the world is worse than it's ever been, and it's going to shit, and there's all these problems, and there's all this chaos. And the truth is, I was just on a podcast this past weekend, and one of the guys was asking me about this. He was like, oh, do you think the world is more chaotic now than it's ever been, or do you think it's always been chaotic? And I told him, it's always been chaotic. There's always been problems in the world. There's always been conflict and strife and trials and challenges for every single person across all of human existence. Now is no different. The only difference between now and before is we have social media, so we can see it a lot more prevalent. We see it a lot more frequently. And so the same way that the social media algorithm is giving to you what you give your energy and attention to, the world is an algorithm. The algorithm of life, the algorithm of manifestation is going to give you more problems and more challenges and more uncertainty the more you give your attention to that. And think about your life like a luxury car, right? If you guys have ever driven any kind of supercar or luxury car, you don't put regular gas into the car. If you put regular gas into the car, you ruin the engine. I drive a Mercedes, and every single Mercedes, any luxury car, any supercar, you have to put premium gas into the car. And if you put anything other than premium gas, it ruins the engine. Okay, so your life is the same way. Do you want to be a Toyota Camry, or do you want to be a Mercedes? Do you want to be a nice car, a luxury car? You have to treat your life the exact same way, and you have to cancel out anything that is regular, anything that is average, anything that is mediocre in any capacity, because your life, the circumstances and the experience of your life is going to reflect what you put into it. So if you're giving your attention and your energy to things that are lesser than, to things that are uncertain, to things that take away your confidence, well, guess what? You're going to experience life circumstances that reflect that. The world is a mirror. And as a mirror, you have to cancel out all of the noise. Cancel out all the bullshit, cancel out all the noise. Because people that are massively confident and masters of themselves, guess what they do? They're influential. And when you're influential, you are going to ruffle the feathers of other people. I was just talking with a friend of mine who's incredible speaker, has a lot of talent, has a lot of truth, and is extremely confident. And he's having trouble sharing his message. He wants to get on social media and start to share his message, because social media is one of the best ways to actually scale your reach and get people to see you. But he hasn't posted because there's like a mental resistance, and he's afraid of all of the noise, all the people that are going to talk shit, all the people from his hometown that are going to think that he's weird for speaking some message, for speaking truth, because oftentimes the truth is the thing that the vast majority of people, 98% of people, the masses of people won't be able to recognize, because they are stuck in a limited reality. They're stuck in a state of fear, in a state of hysteria. And this is all done intentionally. The people that control the world perpetuate this on you intentionally, because the more that you adhere and subscribe to their ideas, the less control you have. Okay? So if you don't withdraw your attention and energy from the pendulums of mainstream narratives and of the mass hypnosis, the mass societal implications of having to be a certain type of way in order to be acceptable by society, well, then you don't have control over your life. If you don't do this, if you don't cancel out the noise, you don't have control over your life. The less control you have over your life. And this is huge. This is vital. Because a lot of times, like I was saying before, I don't know if I said it before, I might have said it in the other video, living an exceptional existence has less to do with doing more work or getting to that next level. It has more to do with canceling out the noise in the first place. And what that means is you're probably going to have to walk away from certain friendships of people that don't see the power in you or are not connected to themselves. You're going to have to walk away from all of the societal implications of what it means to be a good person, a person who has good morals, because oftentimes the people that have good morals are the ones who perpetuate pain in the first place, right? Do you think the Nazi soldiers back in World War II, the ones that were just following the orders, right? Do you think they were good people? They were adhering to the pendulums of society at the time. And in their society, it told them that these people are bad, so we have to eliminate them. And so they just followed the orders. And then a few years later, now all of them are in jail, all of them are fleeing because they recognize the fact that they were doing something extremely wrong. What's really interesting how, although those types of circumstances were not in that exact circumstance right now, but people do the exact same thing. They're so glazed over in their presence, they have zero confidence in themselves, they have zero self-trust, and so they outsource their trust to someone else. They give away their power and they give away their authority over their own life because they haven't done the job of canceling out the noise and saying no. It's more to do with saying no. The same way Scrooge McDuck hoards his money and is like this evil billionaire, you have to be the same way in some regard to with your attention and your energy. So you don't share energy with people that are in a high vibrational experience. You don't share your energy with people that perpetuate fear and pain. You don't share your energy with people that aren't absolutely rooted and grounded in love. Now, you can be around these types of people because maybe you have friends and family that I'm never the type of person that's just like, fuck all your friends, fuck all your family, like walk away from them because if not, you're not going to be successful. I hate that message because it doesn't come from compassion. And so when you take away your predominant energy away from these pendulums, you can be around these people and not actually lose energy. But in that same way, you're probably going to spend less time with these people. You're probably going to have less conversations with these people. You understand what I'm saying here? So it's not about like cutting out everybody, but it's about taking away your energy and attention and guarding your energy and guarding the vast wealth of spiritual currency that you have and guarding that with your life, right? The same way the United States has to fortify its borders because we're just letting people in like crazy. You have to do the exact same thing with your energy and with your attention. And the same way that a lot of times people have no money because they have a bunch of subscribers. Have you ever seen those ads on Instagram? I've been scrolling through Instagram sometimes and I'll see like this ad pop up like, I make good money at my job, but I'm broke. And then the guy's like, well, let's see your subscriptions, right? And they have like Netflix and Uber and all these other subscriptions of all these things. And then they wonder why they don't have any money. Well, it's like they're spending 25% of their monthly income on all these bullshit expenses that they're not even tracking. Well, it's kind of the same way. If you want to live within a high vibration and be a high vibrational being, you have to guard that energy with your life because it is sacred energy. You don't want to associate with people that have negative energy, that judge themselves, that doubt themselves, that judge the world, that are radiating bullshit, that are typing into the comments a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of hate. You don't want to be that type of person. You don't want to be associated with those kinds of people. You want to be around people that are inspiring, uplifting, see the God in you, see the God in the world, and are in tune with that level of manifestation. Because guess what? I'm going to write this in red because this is the most important point about cancellation. That's a why. Energy is very sticky. Vibrations are addictive. Energy is sticky. And so negative energy, the noise, the things that you hear on the news, the people that you associate with that aren't empowered, if you are around those people long enough, that energy is going to stick to you. It sticks like glue. You ever have like water? I don't know. If you ever jump in a pool and then you go roll in the grass, now you have grass all over your legs and all over your arms. So it's the same. That's a really weird. I thought about Joe Biden in that moment. As soon as I said that, it's like the kids used to come and rub my hairs on my legs and the hairs would stick out, like that weird shit, right? Those people are fucking weird, right? And that energy is sticky. So if you're around weird energy that is disempowering, well, guess what? You're going to be that type of person as well. However, if you're around people that are connected to God and are in alignment with their highest levels of consciousness, well, you will become that type of person as well. So you cancel out the noise and you only subscribe and adhere to things that are connected to God and connected to consciousness and that see the power in you and that bring out the confidence in you. And that alone is half the game. That's 50% of the game of being a high vibrational being who is a master of themselves and manifests all the experiences and qualities and exceptional living that you want. Do you understand this? Cancel out the noise, cancel out all the bullshit. And one more note on this is that oftentimes this comes with a very isolating and lonely experience, right? You often hear this from spiritual masters and masters of time. And I'm forgetting the quote right now, but it's something about people that embrace their genius also embrace that they are lonely beings, because it's lonely to be a type of person who is a genius and connected to themselves, because when you recognize that geniusness within yourself, you start to recognize how the world is fucking backwards. And that creates a sense of isolation. And there's a period of time there where, it's going to feel lonely. You're going to spend more time alone. You're going to spend less time with people. You're going to spend less time with the pendulums and the robots, because everyone that's under this mass hypnosis is like a robot that's just following orders and taking orders, right? So you're going to spend time with any of those people, and you're going to spend more time with yourself. But this is the most important aspect, because in order to find yourself, you have to lose yourself within that isolation and in that period of loneliness and connecting with yourself. But from that emerges a person that is so formidable and so powerful in their energetic vibration that eventually they will attract an ecosystem and a community of people that are aligned with God, that are aligned with the highest versions of spiritual wisdom and spiritual vibration. And so embrace that. Allow that to happen to you. Allow that to be a part of your experience and accept the fact that you're walking a different path. And when you walk a different path, it can be lonely, but the quality of life you will experience in the aftermath will be so exceptional that those people will come back and say, oh, I knew that guy. Happens to me a lot of times too. Oh, I used to know that guy in high school. I used to know that guy in college. But we're just on totally different paths. We're on totally different levels at this point. And this is not to say that you're better than people, right? Because the highest levels of spiritual wisdom can see people where they're at with compassion and not have this ego about it, right? You never want to make spirituality or being in a high vibration your personality, because people that do that are actually engaging in the same level of disconnection, and they're using their spiritual wisdom or the information that they have and the knowledge that they have on spiritual connection to wear it like a badge of honor to say, I'm better than you, or like as a moral superiority. The truth is that every single person has God within them. So you can recognize the God in someone else, but also be absolved of the noise and be absolved of the disconnection that they have within themselves. Okay, so hope that makes sense, because it's almost like you're subscribed to a bunch of Netflix accounts and Hulu and Crunchyroll and all these different things that are just really just distractions at the end of the day. And when you take back your attention, you reclaim your power, then that gives you the power and the energetic bandwidth to create circumstances that are more in alignment with your highest levels of self-mastery and your manifestations. Hopefully that makes sense. And now we move on. We're moving on. And if you watch shows and shit like that, I like watching shows. I watch movies all the time. I hate all these red pill people that are like, turn off everything and go monk mode and all that shit. It's like, yes and no, you know? Like if you're watching those things and they're distracting you from your life purpose and you're being a lazy fuck and you're not doing anything productive with your time and your life, then for sure, it's like, you probably need to turn off some of those. But the whole point is, if you did those things and you did it from a place of like, you're consciously aware that you're doing it and you're enjoying it fully, totally okay. In fact, there is tremendous divine wisdom to be encountered in all of those, in any show that you watch. Not any, but a lot of them. Like if you're watching like The Bachelorette and shit like that, it's fucking retarded. But I don't know. I like one of my favorite shows is Naruto, and there is tons of spiritual wisdom in that show. And a lot of movies that I watch, tons and tons of spiritual wisdom. And oftentimes whenever I do watch movies, I even set a prayer of intention because I'm doing it with conscious awareness to fully enjoy the moment. Because think about like when shows and movies are created, think about all the people. If you guys are weird like me, then you probably think this way also. Let me know in the comments if you think this way. But anytime I watch a good movie or a good show and I set a prayer of intention before I watch it, I think about like, man, think about all the time and energy and that the directors and the creators spent on creating this idea. They wrote out a script, they went and found a bunch of actors, a bunch of extras, and then they spent hours and hours and weeks and months filming the thing, and then they have to edit it, then they have to cut it up, and they have to make sure this, and they have to make sure that, and then they post it, and people watch their creation. It's like you're watching someone's creation. And I always like to view it from that lens because it's so much more of an enriching experience. And so a lot of times, even shows like Naruto, all the spiritual wisdom and all the mindset principles that goes into being a ninja, a top ninja, right? It's really, really interesting. There's a lot of really excellent reflections and really good takeaways you can get as a spiritual being when you watch some of these shows with intention, right? But if you're just doing it to pass the time by and as a distraction to not deal with your life or not think about your reality, well, then that's where it becomes more of a negative thing. But the third C is clarity. Self-mastery and manifestation is extremely intentional. No one gets to exceptional levels in life by accident. The vast majority of people, at least, right? There are the outlier exceptions of people that win the lottery or people that find out they have an uncle that passed away that they never knew about, that turns out he was a multimillionaire, and you're the only family member that's left in their lineage, so you get all the money. So outside of exceptions like that, or maybe people that are born with like a super weird talent, if you think about like athletes, I've had this conversation before with some of my high level friends, right? Like a lot of athletes, people that go into the NBA or the NFL at like 19 or 20 years old, it's like they peak early in their life. The vast majority of them, they peak early in their life because they had a crazy physical gift and they worked really hard at it, and then they're massively successful. But by the time they're 30, it's like, because usually by the time you're 30, 35, unless you're like the outlier exception, like a Tom Brady or something like that, it's like you kind of peaked already. You kind of peaked at 30, and then you have like another 60 years of life left. And so outside of examples like that, for everybody else, manifestation is a very intentional activity. It's a very intentional thing that you give your attention and awareness to, because no person encounters life circumstances at the highest levels by accident. You don't become successful by accident. You don't just wake up one day and have all the money that you want, or have have a genius level of thought and all the intelligence that you want. All these things are cultivated through time and through precise action and taking consistent action on a long enough time horizon, and that comes with clarity. And so when you're a massively confident person and you cancel out the noise, and then you figure out exactly what you want, then you manifest. And what I mean by manifestation, you're manifesting every single moment of your life. Every single experience, every single blade in the grass that you touch, every single conversation that you have, everything you see on social media, everything you see on the TV, everything you hear in conversations with people, every idea that you are exposed to, you are manifesting them. And there is a version of direct manifestation. I personally like indirect manifestation more, but there is a cross between the two. So direct manifestation is, I want this kind of job. I want this kind of partner. I want this level of income. I want this life circumstance. And we're indirect manifestation. So when you try to directly manifest something, oftentimes this is why you've been trying to manifest that dream partner or that dream job or that dream income, and it hasn't shown up yet because you're trying direct manifestation. So you're very clear on what you want. You've written it down. You've visualized yourself experiencing it, and yet it's not happening yet. Well, it's because a lot of times when you have clarity and you're intentional, You create importance. And when you create importance out of something, balancing forces have no choice but to mitigate that excess potential energy. This is directly from reality transurfing. Okay, so when you create importance out of something, you want the job, you want the income, you want the partner, and you're very rigid with how that's supposed to show up. And that every single day that goes by that you don't experience those things, you become more frustrated, you become more disgruntled, you become more self-critical, you start to doubt yourself. Well, that's literally like all of that energy is balancing forces and that excess potential that is created when you make something extremely significant in your life. It's pushing it away. So indirect manifestation, this is all, we'll write DM, direct manifestation. Direct manifestation. Now, indirect manifestation is you do all the same things, you have the clarity, but you are detached. Not only detached from the outcome, but detached from even any level of self-importance. Because when you make yourself very important, or you view yourself as this supreme confident being and I'm spiritually aligned, I deserve it, God, I deserve it. God has a funny way of laughing and saying, nope, let's take it away. Because when you create a persona out of spiritual connection, or a persona out of all the stuff that we're talking about in the first place, it's like importance potential times 1,000. And because you're more intelligent, because you have more knowledge on it, it's like you wear that knowledge like a badge of honor. But here's the truth. It's like when you have to be detached not only from the outcome and where you think that outcome is supposed to show up or how it's supposed to show up, but you also have to be detached from yourself. So that way you allow for your genius levels of thought and your creative spontaneity and your organic, natural you, the most confident you, the actual you, to show up in your reality from a place of ease and flow. Ease and flow. Because direct manifestation often comes with this energy of like, I need to grind for 10 hours a day. I need to work incessantly in order to actually be able to cultivate this reality. Now, you're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to put in the work and put in the effort. But also, indirect manifestation is the path of least resistance in the first place. Standing on that side felt weird. But what I'm alluding to here through all of this is that you become very intentional by being extremely clear mentally on what it is you want to cultivate and create in your reality. And then you let go. But ultimately, even if you think about this in a very paradoxical way, letting go is the ultimate form of clarity, right? Because when you think about someone who's clear and someone who is certain in themselves and calm in every single circumstance, well, that's the person that has the best idea put forth. That's the person who's able to execute and has unlimited energy because they're not taking everything too seriously, right? A lot of you guys, especially like if you're already a little bit successful and you're trying to get to that next level, you're taking everything way too fucking serious. You're attached to the level of success and the level of income that you have right now. But in order to get to that next level, you have to like let go. You have to let go of this idea or this identity that you've created, because what got you to level 10 is not going to get you to level 100. Level 100 is a completely different mindset. It's a completely different energy. So the ideas and the energy and the mindset that got you to that level that you're at right now, in order to get to that next level, you have to almost like do away with what you've created. You have to unwire certain aspects or certain habits, because you probably got there through direct manifestation, working super hard, working nonstop to the point where you burn out. But the thing is, in order to get to that next level, it's like you have to have more of an genius level of energy and a genius level of thought. You have to be more in flow with yourself. You have to be a better delegator. You have to learn how to trust people, and trust people, bring them into your organization and bring them into your ecosystem. So that way it's like, now it's not only your energy, but now you have all this energy of all the people around you. So you create like your own pendulum that works for you. And it is also enriching the lives of all the people around you as well. Okay. So the whole point here is clarity looks like, what clarity isn't is someone who is extremely rigid and fixated and it has to show up this way. And if someone is even 1% out of alignment with this, that's it, they got to go. Or if this isn't the absolute perfect idea or the perfect piece of content or the perfect thing, then I'm not doing it. Clarity looks like, I'm all good. I'm relaxed. I know exactly where I'm going, and I allow the universe to meet me halfway. but that's because I trust myself and I canceled out all the noise, all of the negative things, all the negative things that are distracting me from myself and from my divinity, and I'm completely in flow with myself. Do you understand how the 3 C's, like if you embody this in your reality, it's like you're just a natural master of yourself? Do you understand how when you let go of how you think it's supposed to show up, it shows up? You've had moments like this. You've had moments like this in your life where there were certain weeks or certain months where everything just flowed, right? But then after a certain point, you got attached. You got attached to that feeling. You created a bunch of importance, and then you start to get rigid because, oh shit, I have some success. I have some success in my life. I need to maintain it. I need to maintain it, right? Your clarity went out the window. Your resourcefulness went out the window. Your synchronistic way of being went out the window, and you grew attached because you were using direct manifestation. Indirect manifestation is you're very intentional, but you're detached. Do you understand this? Do you feel the truth of this in your being? Do you understand that the power that this has to actually create the reality that you want? To invite the friends, invite the circumstances, invite the wisdom and the knowledge and the resourcefulness to bring about everything that you want in your reality. I don't talk about this shit from like a frame of mind of like wishful thinking, or I hope it happens, or I hope it becomes a part of my reality. Like I really trust, I really believe. No. None of this wishful thinking shit. This is extremely scientific and pragmatic, because I often think that the vast majority of people that even get into this stuff, what is the point of getting into all of this personal growth and all this manifestation and getting into all of this spiritual wisdom if you're not actually experiencing the kind of life that you want, regardless of what the circumstances, where you actually feel fulfilled in your experience, where you feel confident under any circumstance, where you have amazing people in your circle, where you feel vibrant in who you are as a being. What is the point of doing all this stuff and knowing this stuff in the first place if it doesn't actually lead to a result? Okay? And that's why I talk about this and I hit on this so emphatically, because this is the key to unlocking the reality that you want in the first place. This is what the master teachers have been talking about for thousands and thousands of years. There's hordes of books, there's lectures and seminars and ecosystems of people that are doing this at the highest level. And all you need to do, because energy is sticky, all you need to do is associate with those types of things and you will get those kinds of realities, right? You're manifesting every aspect of your reality, whether you are conscious of this or not. Now, all of this is bringing your conscious awareness to the qualities and characteristics of someone who embodies that next level. And now you have the roadmap and the path to do that yourself. This should create a sense of clarity, not make it all complicated and make it this sophisticated thing that you don't know how to do. No, this should make it very simple, right? It's like if you're just confident in who you are and you get rid of all the things that are distracting you, get rid of all the things that are taking away your vibrational energy, things that are misaligned from that higher level perspective, and then you become very clear and intentional about what it is you are cultivating, and you show discipline and consistency, and you show up and you allow things to come to you because you're detached from the outcome. Well, it's like, dude, like your life will be completely different a year from now, right? Oftentimes, like one of my clients, I was just with one of my previous clients this past week, and he just moved to Miami. He lives in a high-rise condo in Miami now. And we were talking, and mind you, when I first met him, he was like, he had 5 different jobs, and he was extremely depressed, had all these energetic, emotional problems, was living in like his grandparents' basement or something. And one of the reason that he worked with me is because I didn't try, like if you look at all these other coaches and teachers on the internet, they're always, they're extremely unrealistic with timeframes and expectations. This is the one thing, this is the one trick that'll give you everything that you want. All the success that you're looking for, if you do this one thing, everything will happen for you, which is BS. The one thing is you. It's self-mastery. It's connection to who you are and following your heart and trusting that guidance and being so in tune with who you are that whatever strategy you apply into your life bears fruit. And I told him this. And I also told him, hey, be realistic. Be unattached to even the time frames, right? And at the time I was doing a 6-month program. So I told him, I was like, look, if in 6 months it happens, 12 months it happens, 24 months it happens, who cares? Just allow things to happen to you. And now all of a sudden, here we are 3 years later, he's making more money than he ever has before. His tax bill, he's telling me about his tax bill last year, and it is absolutely ridiculous. I told him, fire your fucking accountant right now. Holy shit, you know? But that's a good thing, right? If you have a high tax bill, that means you're making a lot of money. And now he just moved to Miami, he's living in a high-rise condo. And that was the thing that he worked with me for in the first place. The reason that he worked with me is because I told him, hey, whether this happens in 12 months, 24 months, I'm giving you this realistic expectation because people doubt what they can do in 5 years. People doubt what they can create in 5 years, and they overestimate what they can do in 1 year. And this is what the vast majority of the world does. They find out about this information, then they think, oh, in 1 year, in very quick time frames, I'm going to make everything happen. And then it doesn't happen. Now they have self-doubt. Now they have self-judgment. Now they lose confidence, right? I'll write that down up here one more time so you can internalize this. If there's anything you take from this video, it's this. People overestimate what they can do in 1 year, and they doubt what they can accomplish in 5. If you have that mindset, you have a long-term perspective to what you're creating. Because having a long-term perspective is detachment. Like whatever time frame, you align with God's timing. You align with God's divine timing, and you are committed to self-mastery and the manifestation of your best self now through confidence, through clarity, and through cancellation of all the things that don't serve you. I guarantee you, you will attract everything that you want in your reality. That's pretty much it for me in this video, guys. I love you all. I hope this resonates. I hope this actually helps you to cultivate confidence and clarity within your reality so that you can create whatever it is that you want and have more peace of mind, have more flow, have more energy, energetic bandwidth to operate within this world with power. And just go out and do it. I love you all. See you in the next video.